very single friend, single to the core. I am praying for him that the Lord is going to help him in Jesus' name. Say amen.
Amen. So sorry, permit me to keep water beside me, right? My doctor advised me that I should always take water while talking. And I talk a lot. Consultation, actually, not just talkative. So, thank you so much for this privilege. I really appreciate OSU for what he's doing. Can we put our hands together for him? And also, can we put our hands together for his team members? Yeah, it's really, you won't understand how to pull up people together to see that they benefit. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. So I'll be talking about shameless marketing. But then, before we go into it, who here is doing something, maybe you are selling something, can you just signify? You are selling something. It will be an interactive section, actually. So I will ask you what you're selling, right? So, are you selling something? Yeah. Either ways. In as much, it involves money. So, do you do, sir? Okay. You say what? Okay. Okay. An analyst. Graphics designer. And at the chop business for money. Wallpaper. Home wallpaper. Okay. What about you? Okay. Skincare product. No wonder. Who again? Who again is selling something? Everybody is scared. Now this is it. Okay, what do you do, sir? Laptops. Okay, it. I'll be trying to touch every one of our feet. I will not be using notes. Neither will I be using slides. So we'll make it a communicative class so that you understand what marketing is. And you agree with me that many a times what we are doing online is actually not marketing. It's just one part of marketing. So if posting online, oh, I do this, is just one part of marketing. I would have loved the topic to be shameless sales instead of marketing, because they are two different things. Marketing and sales are two different things. And the way it is, let me ask a question. Do you understand, okay, for a service, you might tendently not understand the value chain of your industry. So for every industry, there is a value chain, right? So for a graphics designer, some softwares you have access to, and there are some you never have access to, right? For someone selling wares, there's a value chain, but there's no board. So let me explain. So let's say you are. What is the name, ma'am? What is your name? Queen. And this is Shade, this is Tola, this is Bolu. And all of them are posting on their WhatsApp. You market your product. Good to you. So, conversation. So, how do you market your product? Okay, you have a physical store. Okay, awesome. Yeah? Okay. Facebook ad. So, how do you run your ad? Do you have an automation? No. Okay. I'm talking of automation from the scratch, like the scratch. Okay, just direct. So let's go back a bit. So if you do ads, 1K view of your ads, how many return on investment do you have? It depends. Okay, let's go. Okay. It doesn't convert. Then if I ask what is the difference between when it does not convert, what do you have to say about that? I think what you should do is, now this is a go-to for you for 2026, right? So what you should do is understand the behavioral pattern of people you are targeting. So when you're talking about marketing, we not talk about customer avatar, we talk about behavioral people, about sequence, we talk about segmentation. So I'll break it down so that to use it as a tool. So beyond just posting, right? There's something you should, the feelings. If you are still selling products in this age and time, I don't think everybody is doing the same thing. Every day I wake up on WhatsApp, I see waist bead kind of post. Sorry for ladies that wear waist bead. You see some kind of post like waist bead. Then you see price tag, 4,500, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000. That is not marketing. But that, to me, that is not marketing. So waking up, putting the pictures to some extent. If I have someone like that, I will mute you because you don't know your business. So what does shameless marketing now mean in context? Is how that you market with description and educating people about what you do and what you sell. I have one of my team members who is into skincare products. Post a product if you have not thought about the product. So if the product should come with what? A teaching. So that I'm need to understand is there's something called customer journey and customer experience. So if your customer does that storyline, like your storyline, let's say your journey of how you started, they don't have you don't have a followership of that kind of experience. I don't think you have retention. Because as much as you are marketing, getting sales, do you have returning customers? Because if you don't have returning customers, it means marketing procedure is having a problem. Is either having kwashiorkor or I don't know, but it's having a problem. So every one of us here, seated here, you are selling something. That raised up your hand, and those that didn't raise up their hand, you are still selling something. And you need to pay attention to this. Why? Because you need to put yourself out there. That's how I'll go a bit. I'll touch a bit. I wanted to touch a bit of personal branding. And I think every business owner seated here should understand that your main goal as a business owner is making people say yes to you, open your mouth to tell them stuff. Do you understand what I just said? Making people say yes to you before you open your mouth to sell a particular thing you are selling. Your goal. And that's why you need to understand how to influence people by your first meeting. The psychology of humans. How humans think. Because as much as you have a customer avatar, I know we'll say, oh, customer avatar, the age, the demography, it's good. Then the psychography is one key you need to understand. Because let me, for instance, Coca-Cola in the West is different from Coca-Cola in the North. The test product is different. Go and try it. Buy a Coca-Cola from the North, take it to the West, buy the one from the West, drink it at the same time, they taste differently. Sorry, Coca-Cola watching me. Sorry. Research, yeah? And these studies, proven studies. Why? Because the behavioral pattern of the Northern, they love sugary things. If it's not having, they don't eat. So the only way they can sell is more sugar. And you know, why do they bring zero sugar Coke? Because particularly the West, South, right? So what am I trying to back to your business? So if you are running ad and you don't understand the value chain of your business, guess what will happen? What will happen is you'll be competing with the people at your level, not competing with the big brands. So, but this is it. You need to have a global view of what you're selling. And what do I mean by global view is that if somebody comes to your DM, they are paying you immediately. Because there are two different things. Louis Vuitton, I don't think they are doing more of marketing, ads, television ads, TV ads that much. Have you seen one? What kind of product do you sell? Let's start with that. Is it your personal product or you get it from the store or you place on? You get them. So let's say getting, you get them from Lagos, from the main source, which of the two? Okay. You buy from Lagos. Is it? You need to pay more attention on getting it from the main source. Partnering with the main source. Because, do you know drop? Yeah. Partner with some people, certain people, they get it done for you in your own brand name. It's possible. So you now leave your competitors blank. You find out that some person's goods are more cheaper than yours, and yours is more way cheaper than others. Now, what is the difference? The same quality, different prices. What is the difference? No. I don't think it's the supplier. Who can answer? No, it's not the brand name. This man is selling Louis Vuitton jean trouser. She's also selling the same. All of them have different prices. So what is the difference? Not packaging, actually. Not customer base, actually. I'm asking, what is the difference between someone who has a product, the same product, but different price? What is the difference? They are getting it from the same source. Yeah. Close to, Ma? Okay, so let me just save us the time. I don't think it's the customer issue. From my own point of view, businesses and also growing my own business, I feel is messaging, the message, the communication. So I will communicate with this man in a particular way. He knows that I'm not going to buy his dress. And there's a way you communicate with me, you will chase me. And that's why I said initially out that if you post on your WhatsApp status just repeatedly like that, to some extent, I don't think you are marketing. You are just trying to promotion. So who has of situation post product and nobody is even asking you the price of the product? Nobody is asking you the price. No conversation is being held. Because the real thing there is, as much as you post, one thing you should know is sales should be made. That is where, and I said marketing is different from what? Sales. Because marketing is all about promotion. It's all about making people get aware about this particular thing you do. But sales is now conversation. So sales means conversation. In a conversation between this man and myself, and making sure this man understands what I'm selling to the point that he now pays me for what he does. Or what I do. Sorry. Vice versa. Right? So, one thing you need to understand as someone who is selling stuff, maybe a service, you render a service and you charge a lot. Because I think my dad had an experience while they didn't actually want to give him a contract. Do you know why? So, another thing I would like to talk about, so that we pay attention to, is that we should be very careful about what we build. How long have you been doing business? What is the name? Ma? Tessie. Okay. So how long have you been doing business? 2 years. So in the space of 2 years, have you really hit your goals? For some, yes. So the question is, for others, what is the problem? Okay. Yeah. I didn't get that. Yeah. Okay. More people. So how intentional are you with more people? Because we are talking about. So how intentional are you? Yeah. From a scale of 0 to 10, then. Where are you? 6.5. Why 6.5? Okay. Go ahead. Okay, so this is it. So if in 2 years you are able to grow that much, then one thing you need to understand is, what do I need to do more? Because when you're talking of marketing, one thing you need to understand is leveraging on people. When you're talking about marketing, what you need to understand is what? Leveraging on people. If you cannot leverage on people, then I don't think you will be able to compete at the global scale. So what I mean by that statement is, as much as you are doing your business, you should have other people who are like you in your business. So let me give us a structure. This is gotten from the book of Matthew, Jesus' lifestyle. So if you really want to grow your business, all you need to do is build your business as Jesus built his business. Church people, please don't crucify me actually. So before I start yelling, why will you say Jesus is a businessman? But that is the best marketing strategy you can ever use. Because there was no social media then, right? But then the funny part is, do you understand the algorithm of the social media space? Now, if you understand the algorithm of the social media space, it will be very easy for you to market shamelessly. And market without even you being there. I don't know if you get, do you get what I said? So how that, now you should replicate Tessie in 10 different people next year. And how do you do that? Do you have a question on that? How to build Tessie in 10 different people? Yeah. Or do you have a question? Okay, so you want to build Tessie. The goal is build Tessie in 10 different people, so that you collapse 2 years. 2 divided by 10. 2 divided by 10. 0.2, right? So you collapse 2 years in 0.2, that is 2 months. Let's say approximately 2 months. I don't know if you get the mathematics. So marketing is a game of numbers. If you reach 10,000 people, guess what? You are, if your marketing is good, you get 10%, from 1% to 10% conversion. So that is, what is 10% of 10,000? That is 1,000, right? What is 1%? Then 100. So as a startup, we should be looking at targeting 10,000 people to get 100 sales. So if you are not showing up in people's faces, people won't actually know you, and you won't make more sales. So create a marketing plan for the first quarter for next year. And what I want you to do is build a funnel. So this is how the funnel should be structured. That is for you, specifically for you. Don't worry, I'll come to other people. So the funnel for you. So number one, so the first box should be trying to educate people more. do more of educational content. More of educational content. Don't sell anything. Right? Don't sell anything. Just educate people. Don't try to want to sell everything or want to sell something through those videos. But try as much as possible to educate people about that particular or that field. Look for the wrongs, look for the right. Make content with it. If you have issues, go to I've forgotten this website. There's a website where you tap in a question about your product, right? They give you like about 20 ideas. It's not AI actually. Real-time people. Questions people ask, that is search engine optimization. So please just try to remind OSO. Let him remind me. That is if you really need the information, because I've forgotten the name. Sorry about that. Right? So ask those questions, create content on it. First step, right? So every content should have a CTA. That is from your hook story offer. So every content should have a CTA. So that is, you have a hook, you have a story, you should have a CTA. That is an offer, something you are telling them to do. So you must instruct them at the end of every content. So now move to the second box, which is the funnel. The funnel, right? Everyone who interacts with your content, message them. So if somebody likes your content, what should you do? You message them and ask them to follow you. That is if they are not your followers. You do more of TikTok. You do more of TikTok. Which of the apps are you more dominant in? Facebook. So this is it's still a go-to tool. So more interact with your post. What should you do? Go to their DM. Because the moment someone likes something, is like the trust. So trust you with their money. So somebody must know you first. Secondly, like you. Trust you. It might take you 6 months to achieve this. Stay with it. Because even Temu, almighty Temu, started running ad for 6 months. They didn't make one sale. I was in a class with someone, and let me just close it up again. But that was the data from the marketing head. So how that they did marketing for 6 months, they showed up in cities of Nigeria for 6 months, and they didn't even sell. So they started making sales on the 8th month, after the 7th month. So this strategy, I'm not telling you it's going to work immediately, but I can tell you for a short thing, if you repeat it, tweak it, repeat it, tweak it, it's going to work for your business. So what did I say? The second is interact with people who interact with your post. Now the third one, from that interaction, make sure they are retainable. Build a relationship with them. So if possible, have an Excel file for this. So from Facebook, learn to move them from Facebook to WhatsApp. So at that point, you are moving them from just Facebook to what? To WhatsApp. Because people relate with WhatsApp more. So you are moving them to WhatsApp. From WhatsApp, you have your conversations. That is I think the fourth box, right? You have a conversation. Fifth box is selling. So now, this is it. Learn the objections of people. Learn what the objections of people will be. Because marketing is not just, you can be marketing, but not making money. You can have a million views on TikTok, but not 1 naira from that million views. If you really know the procedures, if you don't know how to, I don't know if you get my point. So you can be marketing, but not making sales. Then you get frustrated as a business owner. And the moment you are not making sales, the energy will be low, always low. And if you are using bad energy for your business, guess what? In no time, your business will crash land. So because you get to a dip in your business. So the momentum is high. Maybe the first year you started. The second year is still high. The third year, it begins to decline. The fourth year, it begins to go down. That's if you really don't understand it. Don't be happy if you made sales when you started your business. A lot of people will be happy with you. Oh, she's trying. Let me support. Friends will support, right? They will help you repost, Abby. But at a point, they will stop reposting. So how do you not keep that momentum that when you not get to that deep, because it's like this. So when you get to that deep, that frustration sets in. So that's when you now begin to want to copy everybody that is trending or every trending thing. You shouldn't just jump up on a trend, but understand the message of the trend, then use the message of the trend to trend your own business. Not that somebody is dancing and you're also dancing. I don't know if you get my point. So does that... So let's go to the man doing graphics. So how do you market your product, sir? Okay. Yeah. So as for, yeah. Okay. Okay. Your work, yeah. Okay. That's all. Not really. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so this is it, right? You need a marketing structure also for your business. As much as you get people to tell you that, oh, I love what you do, I love the design, it's fine. Do you know Mimic Graphics in Kaduna? It's okay. So, I want to tell you this for free. How that you need to start taking, do you, now, start taking people through the journey of your work. If you really want to make more. And then, I don't know how your pricing system looks like, but let's give it from 0 to 5. If it's 0 to 5, maybe 5K, then I think you can scale to 15K. Yeah, you can scale to 15K. It all depends on the way you communicate the value you are giving. I don't know if you get my point. And from 15K, you can still increase to 60K. And 60K, you can still increase. I've seen someone who did a logo for 4 million. A very simple logo for 4 million for a company. So I understand the fact that maybe you're just starting, right? But then, from now henceforth, I want you to go back home, sit down with yourself, ask yourself this question, which is, who are my audience? First, who are my audience? Who am I selling to? Who am I sent to? And why? Because if you don't understand it, it will get to a point, people will no longer ask you to do designs for them again. So what happens at that point? Because you also get to your deep. It happens to everybody. If you are, in as much as doing business, it will happen to you. You get to that deep. And when you get to that deep, it now depends on how you come out of the deep. Because the way to come out of the deep, it's unique to you, not to everybody. I can only advise you or just tell you, okay, do this in that mix. So one thing is, thank you so much. Thank you so much. What is the name? You say? Samuel Smith. Okay, Sam Smith. So thank you so much. So I want to talk about this, then we have a close, right? How many more minutes am I having? Please. So that I don't. Okay. So, one thing you need to pay attention to while marketing is the kind of language you use. The kind of language you use. You need to be consistent because To be honest with you, the social media space is different from what you know before. The algorithm has so much changed that if you are not speaking in a particular way, or you are not dressing in a particular way, you might be giving the bad vibe. And guess what? They will shadow ban you low key. So as much as you're even creating content, you're doing marketing, you're trying to post this, you're trying to run ads, you're trying to, get more clients, you need to pay attention to your language. Because are you a Yoruba man? Okay. Who is Igbo here? Who is Igbo? Quickly. No Igbo? What is that? Another language apart from Yoruba. Okay, what language? Yoruba. So imagine if I went to meet him and I was speaking Yoruba to him. Will he understand? No. So you need to learn how to speak the language of your clients. Because with that, they'll be able to relate with you. And then, another thing you need to pay attention to is your storytelling. Every business must tell a story. Now, let's look at who know how Red Bull do their marketing. Red Bull. Who have an idea? You say? I didn't hear you. Wings. Okay. Why do you think they give us wings? Now, I want us to just have a bit of study of big brands. Because as much as you want to market, if you are not marketing at a particular level, you will keep doing that thing over and over again, and you won't get results. And you think the business model is wrong. Meanwhile, it's your marketing that is wrong. No business model is wrong. It's the marketing. So, to some extent, you'll find out that Amazon didn't sell first. Why? Because people don't understand the language. True or false? We are all here. True or false? True. People don't understand that language. Then, what happened? They moved into what? Making people understand their language. Guess what? Other people started building their e-commerce site. True or false? True. So, let's go back to Red Bull. Red Bull, he said it's to have what? Wings, right? Now, have you ever seen any of their ads or their content? You'll find out that most of their content are content that are it feels impossible, dangerous content, and for real life content. The last one they did was throwing someone off an helicopter blade. The last one they did, just of recent, throwing someone off somebody's life. They are using it to bet. That's how extreme these guys are. Let's go to liquid debt. Who knows liquid debt? Liquid debt. So for liquid debt is selling water. But guess what? They are selling it in can. Oh, Chim. I have 10 minutes more. Wow. So liquid debt sells water in what? In can. And they make more sales than people that sell it even in the plastic bottles we have. Are you seeing it? Why? Because they understand the message. Now, please do this for yourself. Write this down. These 3 things that helps you to build your business shamelessly. These 3 things. Number 1, what am I passionate about? Marketing structure should always be around what you're passionate about. Number 2, every of your marketing strategy, whatever you do, should always communicate what you are best in. So, first thing first, what are you passionate about? Then second thing is, what are you best in? Every moment you are talking about your product or marketing yourself, these 2 things has to be in place. things: what I'm passionate about and what I'm best in. Because to some extent, do you know common perfume can make someone keep coming to your store? As small as perfume. Why? Because humans are wired in a different way. And guess what? If you can answer these two questions, you will begin to get your confused customers into buying clients. So understand this: there are three kinds of people you meet online: the cold, the warm, the hot. The cold, the warm, the hot. So as you're communicating this, that this is what I'm passionate about, this is what I'm best in, it should communicate it in such a way that somebody who is not even interested in your product will now pick interest in what? In even knowing what you are doing. Then from that interest, you now transition or have conversations that will transition them from just being warm to ready to pay. And sometimes it takes 6 months for from that cold to that hot. But many a times we just want the quick sales, and that is why we panic attack mood or survival mood kind of marketing, where every morning, sorry for those that does that, but then every morning you just wake up, you have a lot of plethora of pictures of your product, and you expect someone to just come and meet you and ask you what is the price. As much as they are asking you, it is not good enough. There's still more money out there to make. Right? There's still more money out there to make. So, I was talking about the third one, right? The third one. Now, the third one is, what is the economical part of it? Economical part of it. That is the pricing. But the pricing, make sure you don't use words like cheap or expensive. Always use affordable. So when communicating with people, don't tell them it's cheap and don't tell them it is expensive. Always communicate affordability. Then through that, you understand what they want. As much as you are selling this book, it's not everybody that will buy it. It's only the only hot people that will buy it are people who know the value of the book. Because there's this one, some 4,000, some 3,000, right? And then we still have normal book, 20 leaves, 40 leaves, 200, 400. So the question is, what will make me take my 4K to buy this one? And what will make me now think, no, now, how will I buy? It's not to write. It's not to write. I will write. Then you go ahead to go and buy the normal 40 leaf books. Okay, so with this, I hope I'm able to just touch. I know it's just, I have to just touch it around so that you get a picture. A picture of what you're doing in marketing. Because, to be honest with you, a lot of young entrepreneurs are marketing the wrong way. They're marketing the wrong way. So I was talking about Red Bull. I was talking about Liquid Death. Now, let's go down to wears, right? Let's go to Nike. What does Nike sell? I don't think it's shoes. What does Nike sell? Thank you, sir. Thank you. That's what they sell. They don't sell book. They don't sell shoes. But they are selling victory in the shoes. So that's why they will show you someone like Les Brown using the shoe. They'll show you Michael Jordan, right? Wearing the shoe. And to some extent, you won't see them, you won't see them run out and say, oh yeah, buy the shoe. Have you seen them run out and say, this is the price of the shoe? No. Many a times, even most of their ads is less than 30 seconds. So how do I communicate my brand in 30 seconds? That should be your assignment for 2026. How do I communicate my brand, my work, every day in 30 seconds without even telling anybody to buy? Because every video out there, every banner. So let me go to Coca-Cola now. so that we explain that banner part, so that in the next 2 minutes I'll finish, right? So Coca-Cola, why is it that they are placing a food beside the drink? Almost virtually every of their posters. Psychology, because their competition is water. They're competing with water. According to their CEO, he said their competition is not other soft drink, rather water. That is, as I'm eating, the first thing I should be thinking about is what? Coke, not water. And it has worked on so many people that if they didn't drink Coke, Fanta, Sprite, they cannot eat. They will say, let me step it down. These are studies you also need to make as a business. As much, except you don't want to go global, except you want to do it the local champion style, no problem. If you are doing it the local champion style, no problem. The Lord will keep helping you in Jesus' name. Amen. So I think I have 1 more minute. Thank you so much, sir, for this privilege.
Thank you. Okay, quickly, next 2-3 minutes. Question for you. Any question? No question. All right. Once your neighbor, ask them, how is it going? We're in the last phase for this evening. Last phase. And then we're going to do that for the next 35-40 minutes. So it's an elective seminar. And then we'll take our rest. Then we converge by 8 p.m. And we'll have a session from 8 to 10:30. We take our rest. Our prayers 12 to 2. Rest up. Where's our program? Somebody give me a program. So I want everybody to take a number. So let's do